Peter Sam wanted to start work right away, but the Finn controller wouldn't let him. Another day's rest will do you good, he said. Besides, I've got a surprise for you. For me, sir? How nice, sir. What is it, sir? Wait and see, smiled the Finn controller. The surprise was Skarloey. Oh, said Peter Sam, I'm glad you're home again. They lit Skarloey's fire, and he sizzled happily. I feel all excited, he said, just like a young engine. I'm longing to pull my dear old coaches again. Are they running nicely? Yes, they are running well, Peter Sam answered. We have a few new coaches as well now. Skarloey was interested. Oh, he said, tell me about them. Cora is a guardsvan. She isn't as big as Beatrice, and she hasn't a ticket window. But I like her best. She's my guardsvan. She was my guardsvan in the old days. Ada, Jane, and Mabel are plain. They have no roofs. Sir Handel say they're trucks. But they have seats, said Peter Sam. So I say they're coaches. What do you think, Skarloey? The old engine smiled. If they have seats, they're coaches, he said firmly. Sir Handel likes Gertrude and Millicent best, Peter Sam went on. He always tries to take them alone. They have boogies. And he says they're the only real coaches we have. They remind him of when he used the Polar Express. Both have seats for passengers, but Millicent has a seat for a guard as well. He sells tickets and travels in a tiny cupboard place. I don't like that, he remarked earnestly. Guards are very important. They need vans, and they shouldn't be put into cupboards. Sir Skarloey said nothing, so Peter Sam continued. Did Rusty help you off your truck? Yes, he came to mend the line and do odd jobs. I like him, smiled Skarloey. Yes, I do as well. Peter Sam explained how kind Rusty was when he had his accident. It's a pity Duncan doesn't like him. Who's Duncan? He came as a Spaniard after my accident. Is he useful? He'll pull anything, and I'm sure he means well. But he's bouncy and rude. He used to work in a factory. Therefore he has no manners. Oh, I understand, said Skarloey gravely. Just then the telephone rang. Skarloey's driver and fireman climbed into his cab. Come on, old boy, they said. Duncan is stuck in the tunnel. We'll have to get him out. Skarloey was pleased. He wanted a run, and he looked forward to meet Duncan. They found Cora and some workmen and hurried up the line. How nice and smooth the rails are, thought Skarloey. They have mended all the old bumps. Rusty has helped to do that. I must tell him how nice it is. Duncan had stuck at the far end of the tunnel. The coaches were outside, and the passengers and the driver and fireman helped to dislodge some of the rocks that had been wedged between the top of his cab and the tunnel roof. Duncan was cross. I'm a plain, blunt engine, he kept saying. I speak as I find. Tunnels should be tunnels and not rabbit holes. This railway is no good at all. Don't be silly now, snapped his driver. The tunnel is quite big enough for an engine who doesn't do rock and roll. They cleared away the rocks, and Skarloey pulled Duncan and his coaches safely through. Cora was left on a siding, and the workmen stayed to make sure that the tunnel was safe again. Duncan grumbled all the way home, but Skarloey paid no attention. The Finn controller was waiting for them. Listen to me, Duncan, he said. There's nothing wrong with that tunnel. You're stuck because you tried to do rock and roll. If it happens again, I'll cut down your cab and your funnel too. Duncan, abashed, was neither plain nor blunt that whole evening.